The world was taken aback by the unexpected bond formed between a silent girl and a donkey who had been saved from distress. During one of their shared moments, the girl performed an astonishing act that left everyone in awe. In a forsaken farm, a donkey was discovered, bearing the scars of neglect and untreated injuries. The extent of the creature's suffering and the duration of its abandonment remained a mystery. Deeply disturbed by the donkey's mistreatment, those who stumbled upon it wasted no time seeking aid. The donkey, aptly named Shocks, was relocated to a place of refuge for its well-being. The Donkey Sanctuary in Birmingham, renowned for its commitment to donkey welfare since 1969, offered their expertise in rehabilitating shocks. This esteemed organization's impact extended far beyond borders, providing assistance to these remarkable animals across various continents. Within the sanctuary's compassionate care, shocks underwent a thorough healing process. Initially, the sanctuary staff harbored concerns for shocks, given the prolonged duration it took for his physical wounds to heal completely. Moments of imbalance occasionally resurfaced, reminding everyone of the donkey's arduous journey. Nonetheless, those who crossed paths with this gentle creature witnessed his unwavering optimism in the face of a troubled past. Shocks, akin to a radiant sunbeam, had an infectious happiness that touched the hearts of all who encountered him. His vibrant spirit found its truest expression through an extraordinary friendship formed with a young girl named Amber Swick. In June 2010, Tracy Orswick gave birth to twins. Her daughters Amber and Hope were premature. Unfortunately, this led to complications regarding the health. Luckily for Hope, she was able to recover with no significant issues. The same could not be said for her sister. The newborn required emergency surgery, and throughout her life, she would undergo several more. Julian, the husband to Tracy and the father of the twins, couldn't stop worrying about his daughter. Nevertheless, medicine and surgery has come a long way, especially within the UK. Amber received a tracheotomy that saved her life. She was born with bleeding in her lungs, and this procedure was successful in preventing air from reaching her vocal cords. Amber was able to breathe properly. While this was the most important obstacle to overcome in Amber's life, another one automatically showed itself. The tracheotomy may have gone well since it fixed her breathing, but it left Amber with the inability to speak. Julian and Tracy were gutted when they found out. The doctors tried to give the new parents some hope regarding Amber's situation. After a few more years, it was possible that Amber could receive another procedure, which may increase the possibility of her having her voice back. The chance was slim, but they held on to it. Although Amber couldn't speak, this didn't hold her back from enjoying other things in life. There were still things she could do or surround herself with. Something that she was particularly fond of was animals. Typically, people would associate small girls with kittens or puppies. Considering that these types of animals are seemingly cute and homeless, when it comes to farm animals, horses are probably the most popular choice. Have you ever thought of picking up an activity such as horse riding? Its appeal is universal, and young girls are no exception. However, the animal that stood out most to Amber were donkeys. Not too long ago, Tracy had heard that children with special needs could benefit from befriending a donkey. This may come as a surprise to some people, but these creatures are incredibly sensitive. Often, they are welcoming to strangers and are gentle in nature. This is best shown through their behavior with kids. This is precisely why one day Tracy and Julian decided to take Amber to the Donkey Sanctuary. The parents had done a little bit of research into the charity, but little did they know of just how important one of the rescues would become to their daughter. When Amber first walked into the sanctuary, she had her parents at each of her sides. She couldn't contain her smile. She was brimming with excitement. Soon after entering, Amber's attention was captured. There was a donkey in the middle of the barn. It had simple gray fur and was quite small. However, it was the only one there, and it was the first donkey that Amber had seen in real life. It was like love at first sight. What made their first meeting even more touching was the fact that Shocks was just as intrigued by Amber as she was with him. Julian and Tracy were witnesses to the touching scene and instantly knew that this was only the start of Amber and Shock's story. Since that day, Julian or Tracy would bring Amber to the sanctuary regularly, hoping that the research into donkey therapy would apply to their precious daughter. They wanted the best for her and were glad to see her smiling like never before. The little girl always looked forward to the next time that she could see her best friend. Unfortunately, the complications Amber received at birth left her with cerebral palsy. This meant that sometimes she struggled to move her body in the exact way she wanted. Her parents would always stick by her, keeping a close eye to make sure that her balance was okay. However, after meeting Shocks, they were able to feel more confident in their daughter's well-being. This is because Shocks gave Amber the opportunity to move around in a safe and controlled manner compared to horses. Donkeys are a lot smaller in size, and there is less risk when letting a child ride on it. On occasion, people working at the sanctuary, or even Amber's parents, would assist the young girl as she rode a donkey. The visits to the sanctuary became more frequent, and everyone was happy to see Amber ride Shocks like it was second nature. Little by little, Amber grew more confident in herself. The girl was moving in ways that were completely new to her, and she no longer felt held back by her physical condition. She may have been young, but Amber had an ambition that was greater than her years. She looked forward to each new day and was constantly in a good mood. While much of this happiness can be traced back to the support she felt from her parents and twin sister, the biggest factor could not be ignored. Shocks, her closest companion, months passed, and the routine of bringing Amber to the donkey sanctuary continued. The Orswicks had visited countless times, but there was one day that would stand out for a very heartwarming reason. Julian watched the interaction between Amber and Shocks closely. After all the time and effort that he and his wife had spent caring for Amber, he was glad to see that there was another soul that valued her just as much as they did. After his daughter approached the donkey and hugged his face, something unbelievable happened. Amber spoke. For the first time in her life, Amber had a voice. Even more powerful than the act of speaking, Amber's choice of words was something that would stay in her parents' memory forever. "I love you." Amber said to Shocks, "I love you." The donkeys appeared to comprehend the words as if they resonated within their hearts. Without delay, they responded with their own unique sounds, capturing the attention of all present in the barn. Amber and Shocks found solace in each other's presence, leaning on one another for support. Overwhelmed with emotion, Tracy couldn't contain her tears upon hearing her daughter's gentle voice. Motherhood can be a tumultuous journey, and while Tracy cherished her daughter, the perpetual role of caregiver took its toll, both physically and mentally. However, this miraculous connection seemed to provide Tracy with an abundance of strength and miracles she never thought possible. Reflecting on the moment when Amber spoke for the first time, Tracy described it as an incredibly moving experience. She couldn't believe that her daughter had finally found her voice. This extraordinary moment touched the hearts of all who heard the story. In 2016, Julian and Tracy immortalized the tale of their daughter and Shocks by publishing a book titled Amber's Donkey. This heartwarming story depicted how a little girl and a donkey healed each other's wounded pasts, showcasing the incredible power of love for an animal and giving a mute girl the courage to speak. Share your favorite part of the story in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope you liked this video. Please share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.